Before we dive deeper into the topic, let me first provide a brief explanation of what the uterus actually is. The uterus, commonly known as womb, is an 8 cm long hollow muscular organ located in the female pelvis, dorsocranial to the bladder. It is the central organ of female reproductive system and plays a critical role in menstruation, pregnancy, and childbirth. Without the uterus, processes like fertilization, fetal development, and childbirth will not be possible. It also undergoes remarkable structural and functional changes during pregnancy. The uterus plays multiple critical roles in the female body. As a central organ of reproduction, it provides a nurturing environment for a fertilized egg to implant and develop into a baby. During the menstrual cycle, the inner lining of the uterus thickens every month in preparation for potential pregnancy and sheds if fertilization doesn't occur. Its muscular structure is designed to contract during labor, aiding in childbirth. It also responds to hormonal changes that regulate the menstrual cycle and pregnancy. These roles highlight the uterus's adaptability and importance throughout a woman's life. Now you might be thinking, why is the uterus so important? Well, it's not just about reproduction, but also a focus of many medical conditions such as fibroids, endometriosis, and cancer. Understanding its anatomy helps in appreciating the complexity of the female reproductive system and the importance of maintaining uterine health. This knowledge is crucial for both academic purposes and general health awareness.
There are 3 important structures located. Each structure has its own specific function, such as the fundus, which protects the fetus and regulates hormones during pregnancy. The second structure can be the body, or more specifically, the corpus, the location where fertilized eggs plant. And finally, the cervix, which allows the passage of liquids in and out of the uterus, which is an important role as the cervix plays a role in menstruation, pregnancy, fertilization, vaginal delivery.
Now, we will explore the structure, location, and various regions of this essential organ in the female reproductive system. Let's dive in. The uterus is located in the pelvic cavity between the bladder, which is positioned anteriorly, and the rectum, which lies posteriorly. This strategic location plays a vital role in its function within the reproductive system. The image here highlights its position in relation to the surrounding organs. You could try look for it in males, but no luck there. The uterus, also known as the womb, is located in the pelvic cavity of a female. It is a thick wall muscular structure that lies in the midline, as we can see here in this image. The uterus is about 8 cm in length, and it's roughly the size and shape of an upside-down pear. The uterus is a central organ of the female reproductive system. It is a hollow muscular organ designed to support the development of a fertilized egg into the fetus. Structurally, it is divided into 4 main regions, each with distinct characteristics and functions. Let's take a closer look of these regions. The fundus is the dome-shaped superior part of the uterus. It lies above the opening of the fallopian tube, and it's typically the thickest part of the uterus. This area is critical for providing structural support during pregnancy. Moving inferiorly, we have the body of the uterus, which is also known as the corpus. As we can see in our illustration, the cavity of the body is shaped like an inverted triangle. This is where implantation occurs when a fertilized egg attaches to the uterine lining, initiating pregnancy. The muscular walls of the body plays a crucial role in both supporting the fetus and facilitating childbirth through contractions. Next, we have the isthmus. It is narrow and approximately 1 cm long region that connects the body of the uterus to the cervix. This region is particularly important during pregnancy as it undergoes significant changes to accommodate the growing fetus. Lastly, we have the cervix, which is the lower cylindrical portion of the uterus that extends into the vagina. It acts as a gateway controlling the passage of materials between the uterus and the vagina. During labor, the cervix dilates to allow the baby to pass through. Additionally, it produces cervical mucus, which plays a role in protecting against infection and facilitating sperm movements. Now, it's time to have a brief look at some associated structures of the uterus. The first structure that we're going to talk about is the broad ligament of the uterus, which is a double layer of peritoneum. This ligament connects the uterus to the lateral walls of the pelvis and contains the uterine and ovarian arteries. Next, we have the uterine tube, which is also known as the fallopian tube. We have two uterine tubes along which eggs travel from the ovaries to the uterus. Okay, let's move on to look at the ovary which produces and releases egg. As you can see, you also have two ovaries. I mentioned earlier that the uterus is connected to the vagina inferiorly. The vagina serves as a conduit for menstrual blood from the uterus, accommodate the penis during intercourse, and during childbirth, the baby passes through the vagina to reach the external environment. As you can see, this was a very brief overview of associate structures.
So moving over, now I'll be presenting the histology of the uterus, which highlights its specialized structures and function in the reproduction. So the uterus consists of three main layers. We have the perimeterium and the myometerium and the endometerium. As you can see in the image, that they're arranged in a cross section of the uterus. So the first layer we're going to be talking about is the endometerium, which is the innermost mucosal lining of the uterus, and its structure changes throughout the menstrual cycle in response to hormonal signals. To break it down, we have the epithelium, the stroma, and the glands. So the epithelium is a simple columnar layer that lines the surface, and the stroma is a vascularized connective tissue layer with fibroblasts and immune cells. And finally, the glands, they extend into the stroma and they secrete substance to nourish the potential embryo. As you can see in the second image, that the endometrium is further divided into two layers. We have the stratum functionalis and the stratum basalis. So the stratum functionalis, which thickens and sheds during the menstrual cycle, and the stratum basalis, which regenerates the functionalis layer after menstruation. Moving to the second layer, we have the myometerium, which is the thickest layer of the uterine wall, and it consists of smooth muscle fibers organized in three layers. So we have the outer layer with the longitudinal fibers and the middle layer with the circular fibers that is rich in blood vessels, and we have the inner layer as well as it has longitudinal fibers. So the next layer is the perimeterium, which is the outermost layer of the uterus, and it forms part of the visceral peritoneum, which covers and protects the uterus. So in the image on the left, you can see the serosa labeled and the histological structure beneath it, and it provides the necessary protection and support for the uterus.
Now let's talk about other creative methods to learn about the uterus and the reproductive system in general. These methods not only educate but also empower individuals by encouraging meaningful conversations and breaking taboos. First, textile and embroidery collectives. This method involves creating intricate art pieces such as embroidered anatomical representations. For instance, in the image on the screen, we see a beautifully embroidered depiction of the uterus showcasing its structure in a visually appealing and detailed way. These projects encourage participants to explore the anatomy of reproductive system in a hands-on and tactile manner. Engaging in embroidery is a meditative process, allowing individuals to connect deeply with the subject matter while fostering collaboration and creativity. Each stitch becomes a reflection of the participants' understanding, and the finished piece becomes a powerful tool for education and awareness. Next, interactive art workshops. Interactive workshops take a more dynamic approach. These events invite participants to contribute to collective artworks such as paintings or digital projects that celebrate the beauty and complexity of the uterus. The example shown here features a colorful and abstract representation of the uterus, divided into panels for a modern artistic touch. This approach not only highlights the reproductive system's anatomy, but also incorporates elements of culture, symbolism, and personal expression. Now let's talk about the aim. Both methods aim to engage participants in learning through creativity. By transforming anatomy into art, these activities make learning approachable and memorable. They also provide a safe space for individuals to discuss topics often considered sensitive or taboo. The impact of these projects extends beyond education. They foster a sense of community and collaboration while offering a meditative way to engage with the topic. Participants leave these experiences feeling empowered, more informed, and ready to continue the conversation about reproductive health. In conclusion, creative learning methods like this demonstrate that education doesn't have to be limited to books or lectures. By integrating art, we can explore the wonders of the reproductive system in a way that are inclusive, meaningful, and fun.
Adenomyosis occurs when endometrial tissue grows into the uterine muscle, myometrium, causing uterine enlargement. It can be diffuse, spread throughout the metrium, or focal, localized to one area. This condition, common in women who have given birth, often causes heavy menstrual bleeding, painful periods, and pelvic pain.
In conclusion, the uterus is a vital organ in the female reproductive system, intricately designed to support life. Its anatomical structure, along with histological layers, ensures its multifaceted roles in reproduction, menstruation, and childbirth. The detailed labeling of its key structures highlights its complexity and functionality. Understanding both the anatomy and histology of the uterus provides valuable insights into its physiological processes and its adaptability across various stages of life. However, its functionality can be compromised by common diseases such as uterine fibroids, endometriosis, and uterine cancer, which pose significant health challenges for women worldwide. Advancing medical knowledge and promoting early detection remain crucial in addressing these conditions effectively. This exploration of the uterus not only underscores its biological importance, but also emphasizes the need for continuous research to improve women's health and well-being. Thank you.